Smucker from the Keystone State. 3 minutes, Mr. Smucker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start by pointing out that it's another new year, but President Biden has once again failed to send Congress his budget on time. And every day that we do not have a budget in time, just want to remind members and want to remind the American people we're adding $10 billion to the national debt every single day that we've been forced to wait on his budget. And then I want to thank the chair. Certainly, we've made it clear, and the chair has made it clear, that this committee remains committed to fixing our broken budget process. We've made some progress, I think, as a conference on that this year. We're not there yet. We've at least attempted to move bills through the appropriations process as called for in our budget process. But certainly going forward this year, we're going to work really, really hard to comply with the process as it's intended to work. And I think today's markup is the first step on that. So I want to thank the chair for doing that. By the way, when we pass this out of the budget, out of the committee today, we'll be 3 weeks ahead of schedule. And so again, the first step in moving bills through the process, this will give appropriators, once this is done, the numbers that they begin to need to work on an appropriations process. And maybe this year, finally, we could do, if we continued moving down this path in the way that we are, we could do a 12-month budget before the beginning of the fiscal year. Not a novel idea, but it hasn't happened here in how many years, Mr. Chairman? Probably 30 years, maybe longer than that, that we've done this in the way that should be done. So I think it's really, really important that we do exactly that. We go back to regular order. We go back to an open and transparent process of passing our budget and letting the American people know how their dollars are being spent. And by the way, we should act with urgency on this. We've heard it here, but the national debt is close to $35 trillion. We also missed the projected deficit this year by $1 trillion. Think about that. If in the private sector, a huge miss like that, you'd call it a scam. In fact, no shareholder would invest in a company that has been off so far, so much in their projections. So we owe it to the American people to explain what is happening to their money, why for every dollar that we take in, we're spending $2 of taxpayer money, $2 of debt. And long term, the Fiscal Commission was mentioned. There are many examples throughout history of countries that have failed because of their fiscal policies. And so I just want to mention as well as, again, I think it's time for a national conversation about our long-term fiscal trajectory. And I think the Fiscal Commission that we moved out of the committee is a wonderful vehicle to begin to have that discussion. So again, it's going to be tough work, both the annual process, but also to address our long-term fiscal trajectory. This begins that process today. And again, I want to thank the chairman for his leadership on moving this bill today. Thank you.
I thank the gentleman from